Boom. Waiting notification. Perfect. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning into a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us today, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than student minister, Brother John Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam, Brother Joshua. I'm honored to be on your program, good brother, with the People's Podcast Nation. Peace to the gods.
Yes, sir. Peace to the gods. And all praise to Allah. We right here with you, and we are excited to have you here. For a second time, and everyone who's watching, please make sure that we go and watch him and his wife's interview that we did, which was phenomenal. Yes, sir. My first question we want to know, sir, is when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
I first heard the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, my brother, from via the 5% Nation of Islam. They were heavy in my hometown of Asbury Park, New Jersey, which is really called Allah's Paradise, because outside of New York City, the 5% Nation was heavy in the late 70s, early 80s. And many of my family members became 5%ers. And though I was young, you know, I was impacted by that teaching that the Black man is God. Of course, there were some issues with my brothers in the 5% Nation at that time, which caused us as young people in our hometown to start our own organization called the HBOs. We called it the Healthy Black Organization. And but the teachings affected us. We had our own lessons, we had our own degrees, you know, but we started the HBOs because we wanted our own thing. It wasn't until I was in school at the University of Delaware, coming home from basketball practice, that I was pulled into the Black Student Union, and the minister for Wilmington, Delaware at that time, Minister William, was finished teaching. My only contact with Minister Farrakhan was Public Enemy and Big Daddy Kane and Rakim. And my first really truly hearing the teaching is when they took us as students to, it was Savior's Day at the time, October 1989 in Washington, D.C. I don't remember the lecture, my brother, because they had us on post all day. Like we was on posts outside, moving the traffic. And I just remember seeing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as this man, just big. I just couldn't believe it. I was so ignorant to the nation that when I saw the brothers in bow tie, I thought they were pledging. You know, I thought they was part of some, you know, fraternity. And the brother that went with me, he was the conscious brother at the time. He was the one schooling me on the nation and everything. And he was telling me about the FOI. All I knew was the 5%. The Black man was God. I had no knowledge of the FOI. And so when I saw the FOI and I saw the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I came home and called my mom and fussed at her because I didn't know about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan growing up. And I went to the library and I got the autobiography of Malcolm X. And that locked me in. It didn't turn me away. I was locked in to join. And when we went to the temple, Brother Josh, the brother who brought me, the conscious brother, he's the conscious brother on campus. I'm following him. We go to the local temple and they ask who want to join. And I looked at him like, my man, you know, we joining? And then the minister said, don't worry about the man next to you, stand up. So I stood up. And, you know, he gave me this look like, you know, I'm good. You know, I'm already conscious. And so I end up joining, and I never look back. My brother, he's an electrical engineer now. Years later, he became a Sunni Muslim, and he's an electrical engineer now teaching in Saudi Arabia. But I thank Allah for his consciousness, because his consciousness brought me, and I thank Allah for the 5% Nation of gods and earths for introducing me to the language that the Black man is God. So that was already in me when I was writing my letter. I just had to learn who he was and Master Father Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
All praises due to Allah. Yes, sir. Wonderful. We thank Allah for him and your journey. And we thank Allah for everyone who is watching and showing you love all across the country. And we can't wait to put this on YouTube, sir. Please let us know which city you are watching from. Let us know. And walaikum salam to my sister Naima sends the greetings as well. Thank you, Naima, for watching. Okay. Once you join the Nation of Islam, How did your family and friends feel about it?
That was a challenge, Brother Josh, because again, it was very interesting. You know, brothers in my hometown had the lessons, and we were under the impression that a 10%er was a Sunni Muslim. That was the language in Asbury Park. So when I came home with my suit and my bow tie, some of the brothers was calling me a 10%er because I became a Muslim. And I didn't know the lessons. I wasn't able to defend it because I wasn't yet steeped in the lessons. So my defense was being physical, wanting to fight people. I got into some, you know, my mentality was I'm with Farrakhan. And, you know, the brothers I was getting high with, brothers I was drinking with, when I came home from school and I got my bow tie on, all of a sudden they scholars of religion now. They want to tell me what Farrakhan ain't. And I'm like, oh, bro, you was just getting high with me. You was just sniffing with me a few months ago. Now you're going to tell me about Farrakhan? And so, you know, my brothers from the HBOs, the Healthy Black Organization, there was mockery there. But a few of the conscious brothers understood because we were in the New York City metropolitan area and they knew of Minister Farrakhan. So I was coming home to a lot of vitriol. My beautiful mother, I love her. She fought me. Because when I came home, Josh, the nearest temple was Temple 25, which is about an hour away, Newark, New Jersey. And I would ask Mom, can I take the car? No, you can't take the car. So I would have to take the train, hour and a half back. Sometimes she would cook pork, and argue with me. And I'm like, Ma, you see me changing. Don't mock the change. Ma, you see me changing for the good. Like she would argue with me, she didn't raise me to be no Muslim. But after a while, I would leave VHSs in the back then there were VHSs. I would leave VHSs of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and I would go out soldiering. And I would leave it at a certain place. And I would come back and it was 45 minutes, an hour ahead. I'm like, yeah, Mom is watching. And slowly but surely she came around, my sister joined. And I took my mom to Savers Day. And when Minister Benjamin Chavis and his wife joined, I believe it was Savers Day, 96 or 97, my mom came in as well. And it's so funny, Josh, because many people think my mom brought me in. And she's so strong. They think I'm second generation, but I got to remind people, no, I fished my mom. But she's a great help to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and a believer, and I thank Allah for her. But yeah, it was rough in the beginning. It was rough.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. Yes, sir. Okay, so you got your mother and your sister in. That's powerful. Wonderful. And thank everyone who's showing you love all across the country again. Brother George X says he's watching from mosque number 35. Alaikum salam, Brother George. The Shaniqua says assalamu alaikum. And people thank everyone who continues to show you love. Yes, sir. My next question is, you spoke of your addiction, dealing with drugs, with 5% before you join the nation. What advice would you give to people who are fighting addiction?
Brother, the language addiction, I don't even use that language. I love the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I was a weed head. I was a casual weed head, even though I was playing ball. We do what we do. I don't know if I was addicted, but when the teachings came and the restrictive law came, it allowed me to pull up on it. But I would say to those who are battling addiction, these teachings are powerful. The teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Be true to yourself. Seek help where you can find it. Pray in the name of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan that Allah will bless you to remove that addiction. And as I tell the young brothers in my youth organization, Josh, birds of a feather flock together. So if you hang with 3 crackheads, you're going to be the 4th. Hang with 3 drug dealers, you're going to be the 4th. If you hang with 3 brothers and sisters that's striving in the way of Allah, sooner or later it's going to rub off on you because birds of a feather flock together. And that's what I did. I attached myself to the FOI. When I came home from college, while in Delaware, at a small little place called People's Settlement, I attached myself to the FOI in Delaware. And when I went home to start the little study group in Asbury Park, I attached to the strength of Mosque 25. And that's what made me strong.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. My sister Miriam sends the greetings, and your wife Lakeisha says, "Teach my love with the heart." Beautiful. Yes, sir. All right. Now, my next question for you is: speaking of your youth program, what is it, and how can we support, and how can we get people to be a part of it?
It's called GANG. It stands for Going After the Next Generation. Shout out to my brother Manatee, who was the minister in Trenton. At the time, we were battling the influx of gang and gang culture in New Jersey. In the late 90s, 2000s, it hit us hard. And, we have not recovered yet. But by the grace of Allah, we were trying to reach our young brothers who was becoming Bloods, first in Jersey, and then Crip as a natural response to the power of the Bloods. And we were reaching them, and I just needed a way. I just needed a way to get to my youth that was catchy. Brother Manatee, the ministers in New Jersey, he was in the streets as I was as a minister, and he came up with that acronym, and we took it and we ran with it. And it's a way of me getting in front of our youth. Though I'm a follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, they couldn't stop it because it was such a great program, and still is, as we do here in Jersey and Wilmington. So it's funny, Brother Josh, I can't go into the prison as Brother John from the Nation of Islam, but I can go in as gang. And I go in with the suit and the bow tie, and they say, well, you can't say Allah. I don't have to say Allah. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan has taught us well. So we don't have to say that. We can reach our young people with the language. And so that movement of gang, going after the next generation, I go into the schools and the prisons. I bring former gang members. I bring brothers and sisters who are talented. And we just talk to our young people and reach them by the grace of God. And we on Instagram, Gang Movement. Holler at us on Instagram, Gang Movement. And they can email me as well to get more information.
Beautiful. All praise due to Allah. And we thank Allah for you, sir, on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast. We want to thank Allah for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your family as well. Please continue to do the great work that you are doing. Orlando Ali McCray says, in the name of Allah, the Most High Muhammad's servant, thank you for doing all that you do, Lord of the Worlds. Brother Kenny Bond says, represent my brother Kendo. Okay, thank you all for watching. Yes, sir. My next question is, when it comes to our people behind bars, how do you get them to keep having faith and not give up?
Brother, the minister is our example. He doesn't give up on us, and we can't give up on our young people. It's disheartening for me. A lot of times when we go in, we don't know the charges. They don't tell us the charges. And these young brothers are brilliant. Like, I'm talking to a 17-year-old, I'm bigging him up, but then I find out he shot 3 people. I'm like, huh? Farrakhan is a killer? But when they're in that natural state by themselves and they're able to just build, they are wonderful, wonderful brothers. We're just caught up in the matrix, Josh. So us going into the prisons, and they remember you. If you take the time to go in, when they come out, they seek you and they remember you. I don't go in to try to convert with my gang program. I go in with the teachings. I go in with self-improvement, the basis of community development. I go in suited and booted. And when it's time to leave, we're going to have that conversation or where to report to when you leave. So they know what it's about. I didn't know that was my passion. I ran into that just in the ministry, just helping the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So there are many in our nation who really don't know what their passion is yet. So we run to one post, we go to another post, we get disgruntled, we run. But the key is stay in the work of the resurrection, and the work will lead you to your passion. And when you find it, carve out that space in the universe for yourself and live in it. And don't try to be somebody else. In our mosque, brother Josh, we have the ministry, the captaincy, the secretary of department, lieutenants and protocol. It ain't but 5 branches. And if you got 40, 50, 100, 200 people in the mosque hovering around trying to land on 5 branches, there's going to be a problem. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave us 9 more branches with the 9 ministries so that everybody can find a place to land. But if we all sitting around waiting for the minister to get busted or the captain to get busted so you can be the captain, man, you're wasting your time. Accept your own and be yourself in big fields awake, the wide awake man and woman to work out in.
Go ahead and teach. Yes, sir. All praises due to Allah. Wonderful. Okay, well, speaking of being in Jersey, now in Delaware, and in prisons, working in prisons, have you ever faced fear? And if so, how have you overcome that fear?
Sir, a couple times. I think one of the ones that's funny, Josh, when we were at Ghana with the Honorable Minister Min Farrakhan, October 1994. There were two instances that scared me. We had a concert the night before the minister's message, Public Enemy concert in the Marcus Garvey Square. And we were out front with Minister Ishmael and Brother Leonard Farrakhan, and my brother who was the security for the minister. He's passed on now, dark-skinned brother with the glasses. I forget his name. I can't remember his name. And Minister Kadir Muhammad, who was my minister in Newark, we were out and we were collecting tickets, and the crowd was coming, and the security force, their way of holding back the crowd is to beat them with their bullet. They had these straps over them, their bullet where they hold their ammunition. And we were taking ticket money, and everything was cool, but the crowd was coming in. And so the police would hit them with their strap. And so the FOI would be like, hold on, we don't have to do that. And the cops like, look, this is how we do it. We do it at all the soccer games. This is how we keep control. We was like, oh, this is going to get ugly. So we were doing the tickets. We was out doing security. And then I seen out the corner of my eye, the Ishmael and Brother Leonard, they was like, all right, we done here. I think they got enough ticket money. And they closed up and they left. And what happened was the crowd started to surge forward. And the whips of the cops was of no effect of keeping them back. So Student Minister Kadir, he said, Brother John, look, man, it's time for us to roll. And we went in the gate. And just as we went in the gate to get away from it, the young brothers, they said, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they pushed past the police, knocked the police over. Brother Salim, may Allah be pleased with him. Yes, all I saw was Salim tumble in the crowd. Me and Brother Kadir ran like a bat out of hell to our right and jumped up on something. I don't know, there were chairs, and just thousands, it was just like a sea, just stormed Marcus Garvey Square in a joyous way. It wasn't a riot. Once they broke down the gate, they just yelled and they came into the concert, and that was scary. But the real fear for me was the next day when we were on security, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was teaching. My position was right near Jerry Rawlings, who was the president at that time. Yes, sir. And he was sitting with all of the tribal chiefs. And the CIA had already put out misinformation and disinformation about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. There were those in Ghana who didn't want him to come. They were Christians, they were animists. There was a mixed feelings and controversy. And so we're on post right next to Jerry Rawlings. She's to my left. And his security, which we felt was really sloppy, everybody had guns. All the tribal chief people had guns. And I'm like a coup could happen at any time. Like Jerry Rawlings, they were upset with him for inviting the minister. So there was a lot of hostility. And I'm like, oh my God, like we not home. If something kick off here, we 6,000 miles away. And the brothers, we was very concerned. The brothers had the guns out, the different tribal leaders. And in my mind, I'm like, look, we ain't going out like this. And so we had to be attached to the security, those that had their guns that was walking the aisles with us. We had to be there. And it was just nerve-wracking. And I just literally just had to call on Allah in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, because I was scared. I really was scared for the minister, for us. God, coups happen every day in Africa. And but Allah saved us. Allah permitted peace to come over, and it was a beautiful day, October 1994 in Ghana.
All praises due to Allah. Yes, sir. Wonderful. And thank you for holding it down all the way in Ghana. Sister Khadija Kareem is watching. Brother Leroy Muhammad says ASA, Brother Leroy on deck. And thank you everyone who continues to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. Sister Allah says, wow, beautiful. Okay, my next question for you, sir, is the Million Man March. What was the climate like leading up to it, and how did it personally impact you?
I mean, leading up, my brother, as I look back, we were young. We just worked. All I remember, Brother John, we worked leading up to the Million Man. The minister worked. Ain't nobody outworked him. But in our cities, I mean, we was Minister Kadir Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him. He's in DC now. He taught and instilled in us fearlessness. You know, those of us in the ministry under him, we wasn't no punks. I mean, if something was gonna go down, we was gonna throw the first punch, not the captain. It was gonna be us. But we was 2 o'clock in the morning when the bar closed. We out there with Million Man March buttons, paraphernalia, 2 o'clock in the morning. Wherever we could find our people, we were out, and just remembering all of the traps that our minister dodged leading up to it. I remember, you know, Brother Malcolm's daughter, her being arrested and accused for trying to set up to kill the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. This is 95, early. Us going to the Apollo Theater, May 1st, 1995, Sister Betty Shabazz and Mother Khadija and the minister together. The minister just weaving in and out of the, you know, not getting caught in the traps of the enemy. You know, it was just a beautiful, beautiful time leading the Malcolm X movie. It came out a few years later. So they were throwing their traps at the minister, and we was dodging them. But that morning, getting to the Million Man March and being on stage, we had our little red bands on our arm. And when the sun came up, it was 1 million. And to this day, somebody sent me a picture of me on yesterday, a picture of me on stage with the brothers. I'm in awe. And I was in tears because I didn't see it. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan saw it. We worked off his faith. His faith gave us the faith. I didn't know what 1 million men looked like. I had no idea what was going to happen. Atonement, we don't know none of that. We just rocking with Farrakhan. And we'll catch up to the knowledge. And that's what happened. Our faith led us into greater knowledge. But that time, you know, uniting with different pastors in my city, by the grace of Allah, we took over 14 buses, different cities, just coming together to unity. And then we did it 4 times. You know, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, we did, 4 times. We coming back with 1 million 4 times. So, you know, all praise due to Allah for the minister allowing us to ride on the wings of his faith.
Beautiful. All praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. Okay, and thank you as well, and excellent. All right. My next question for you, sir, is, a follow-up. What was it like dealing with the classic Final Call cover, the plot to kill Farrakhan? Or how are you, how did that affect you all in the East Coast when people are, thinking that there's a plot to kill the minister?
Brother, and I want to put that in context in our area because it was a test of faith for me. When I got home, I was told to report to Mosque 25. Now, I'm a young brother. I get home, I'm soldiering, and I go into one of those little small towns outside of my hometown, in a little town called Red Bank, New Jersey. And as I'm soldiering, Brother Josh, I see another brother who has on a suit and a bow tie. So I'm like, praise be to Allah, it's not just me, because I left school to start the study group in Asbury Park, New Jersey. So I'm like, there's another brother out here. Praise be to Allah. And I run over to him. Assalamu alaikum, sir. John, I'm home. And he gave me his name. And I was like, okay, so I guess you're at Mosque 25, right? And this brother gave me a look, Josh, of death and disgust. And he said, no, I'm not from 25. I'm from something. And he gave me another number. And I'm like, I didn't know that back then in Jersey, there was a couple, we had some, the language was used back then, hindsight is 2020, it was called renegades. We had brothers who had went off to start their own nation of Islam. Mm-hmm. So I'm just home from college. I don't know none of this. So you're a fruit, you got a bow tie on, and you telling me you're not with Mosque 25? So I'm like, okay, well, pray be to Allah, let's soldier. That happened for one day. Unbeknownst to me, Minister Kadir was allowing me to work out in Asbury Park, but there was another group, a splinter group, who was trying to open up cities where the Nation of Islam wasn't strong, and Asbury Park was one of them. that area. So while here I am coming home from college to work in Asbury, but there's another group who claim they were Farrakhan, but not, so I'm confused. And so I went back to Minister Kadir and I asked him about it. And I thank Allah for him, Josh. He never let me feed into it. He's like, but John, don't worry about it. Keep working. Okay, so I'm gonna keep working. Later on in years, we getting ready for the Million Man March, as we coming up on it. The brother puts out a pamphlet condemning Minister Kadir, I guess the leadership or whatever, in Newark, and my name's in it. It's a 20-page pamphlet. And I'm like, hold up, man, hold up. So we go out with the final call again one day, show you the faith. And he sees us soldiering and he parks his car. He went and got his pamphlets. I didn't know what was in the pamphlet at first. So as I'm soldiering, brother, and I'm giving the people the paper, he's giving them a pamphlet in the window that I'm giving them. Here, take this. And I'm like, brother, I'm looking at him like, what's going on? Nah, man, don't be coming up here, the vitriol again. So I'm soldiering. Every time somebody get a paper, he gives them the pamphlet. I'm not fully developed at that time as a Muslim. I'm like, my man, look, you got one more time to stick your hand in this window. You're gonna have a problem. And I gave a paper, he put the pamphlet in there, and we squared up, Brother Josh. Imagine this. We squaring up, Muslims. And an angel, a 13-year-old girl, was on her porch. She yelled, Mom, the Muslims are about to fight each other. That resonated in my ear. And I backed up off him. I said, brother, no, sir. No, sir. And I left. And I went and told Minister Kadir. Minister Kadir said, Brother John, you handled it well, brother. But I'm trying to find out what's going on. I just keep going. They mad because you're working. So we're working. So we're trying to build. And the brother who's in this splinter group, and I got to share this, John, he comes and he puts flyers in Asbury Park to show he's going to have a meeting in Asbury Park. I go to Minister Kadir. I said, Mr. Kadir, this guy right here, he claimed me with Farrakhan. He's having a meeting in my city. Can I go? Mr. Kadir, he didn't say to me, he a hypocrite. He didn't do that. He said, Brother John, go ahead. Tell me how it works. Yeah, tell me what happened. I go to the meeting, Brother Josh, and to this day, I've never heard a brother teach Islam like he taught that day. He had, you know how the brothers try to emulate Mr. Farrakhan. He had the napkin. He was smacking the napkin. It was only 5 people in there, but he was teaching like the. And when I went back to Minister Kadir and he asked me about it, I said, Brother Minister Kadir, that helped me to see how you can be so strong, but so wrong. And I share that, brother, because the minister teaches us, sometimes you can think you're right. And when you think you're right, you move out in power in that direction. But if you're wrong, you're only harming yourself and others. So my brother was teaching, and he was one of the baddest teachers in New Jersey. He was bad, but he was wrong. He was wrong. So I'm dealing with all, and that's a challenge of faith, because you got my name in this pamphlet. I was John 6'6" at the time. They called me a minion of North New Jersey. I'm one of Kadir's minions. I'm reading this pamphlet like, I didn't join the Nation Front for this. Like, I just came to, Kadir said, Brother John, just keep on working. And that's what we did. We outworked the splinter group. When we just kept working, Minister Kadir never said a bad word about him. I would show him love and we worked them. We just worked them out of our city. So all of this is going on in the midst of the Million Man March. And then they brought our beloved brother, Dr. Khalid. He brought this gentleman I'm talking to, still a renegade. He brings Khalid to the scene. And I'm like, bro, come on, but Dr. Khalid, why and I'm crying to him. So that's another story. But as a young person, I was challenged early in faith. Early, just coming home, seeing another brother in a bow tie, thinking he would fire, we all one family. Nah. That was a test of faith, brother. But the work we did, we outworked those who claimed that they was with the minister, but were operating outside of the structure. We just outworked them. And then you add the death threats, and you add the Malcolm X movie. Jersey, New York, it was hot. But the leadership of Mosque 25 and Mosque number 7 was strong, and we rode off the strength of the administration of Mosque 25.
All praises. You too alive. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Continue to teach, brother minister. Wow. All praises to Allah. People quoting you. My sister Naima says, all praises to Allah. Brother Ty says, 5 people, LOL. And Sister Issa says, go ahead, tell them what happened. And Brother Briz Rothstein says, Assalamu alaikum as well. Thank you all very much. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. We have a lot more questions for you, brother minister, but we have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast this month. We want to thank everybody. We're coming right back to our brother. Hold on 1 second.
Brother Rashad Street Premiere. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All 3 available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Rock Communications. If you're working on a book and you need copy, editing, project management, content development, or media relations, please reach out to Rock Communications. Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad's Conflict Mediation, squashing the beast throughout the Southwest region. He does a phenomenal job. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad's Giving Birth to a God and the Science of Child Rearing. Please make sure you go out and get a copy of her book as well. Fashion Gods, urban streetwear clothing for men and boys. 314-329-6009. He'll keep you dressed in the best of fashion. Brother Kenneth's Bow Tie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Taj Hollywood's Chemistry 6 episode, a new television series out on YouTube. He's looking for actors and writers. Make sure you support him. Keep It Hood, helping others overcome depression. Also by Taj Hollywood. Aaron's Elevated Places, stress management, real estate, credit, repair, and restoration. His Respect for Life Center. They do personal wellness, philosophy, emotional, and mental spiritual wellness. 229-344-1474. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 Disinfected Cleaning Services, out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon. If you would like to donate or sponsor, please cash out the People's Podcast.
Okay, great. All praises due to Allah. Right back to our brother Student Minister John Muhammad, who's teaching, and people are showing you love all across the country. And thank you, Brother Leroy. Thank everyone who's watching. Yes, sir. I want to stay right there with the 90s and the climate of Betty Shabazz and death threats and all of that. What advice would you give to the future generations who we have not had to face that yet, dealing with rising above emotions to make it through to the other side, as you all did in the 90s, and all of that intense seriousness?
Yes, sir, my brother. I remember there was a lieutenant when I first joined in Delaware who I thought, was next to Master Fard Muhammad in terms of strength. He was just strong. And sometimes, Josh, you find that one brother, sister that you look up to, and I hate to use the word idolize, but in our immaturity, we do it. And then something happens. They fall away. And I remember being in the car, and a brother, name was Darren, he was taking me home. He was very skillful in what he said. I'm trying to find out why my brother's not coming to the mosque no more. He's an inspiration for me. And he just said, Brother John, keep your eye on the Honorable Minister Min Farrakhan. Keep your eye on him. If you keep your eye on him, then you won't stumble over. He said, men and women come and go. And that was hard to take at the time. And so I would say to the youth, as you keep growing, prepare yourself for your trial, because the trials that you will have is your personal trials are yours, that Allah has for you. But as a collective, as a nation, all of the study, all of the training, we're constantly training and conditioning ourselves.
That's right. That's
to
right.
meet and overcome. This is why I love to hear the war stories of those in the 60s and the 70s, because if you don't know what was, then you don't know what is. And if you don't know what is, you're going to not be prepared for what's to come. So if during the time of Minister Farrakhan, we got people on YouTube trying to do their own thing, what you think gonna happen when it goes? Are you ready to handle when the one you look up to fall to the wayside? Are you ready to handle one that you thought was strong? Because the scripture says that Satan's tail pulled down a third of the stars of heaven. Those are people we look up to, the great ones. And so I've learned over the years, keep your eye on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Keep your eye on the mission. And even in the mosque, if you fishing, if you trying to raise the dead, you really don't got time. And Brother Josh, I look at the Catholic Church. Just look at them. Every other week, there's an article, there's a story about some of their priests that's pedophilia, that's messing up. The Catholic Church ain't missed a beat. With all of the pedophile charges, with all of the movies that come out about crazy, you would think that the Catholic Church, they rocking and rolling. And guess what? If there's a Catholic church school in your area, some of you will even send your babies to that Catholic school because they serve the community. So that's a wisdom for us as they jump on us about Malcolm, about Dianetics, about the wheel. We just keep serving our people and building institutions, and that will insulate us from the madness that'll come your way.
Go ahead and teach, Professor. Go ahead and teach. Yes, sir. All praises due to Allah. Wonderful. Yes, sir. Okay. Well, speaking since we're going deep, we're building right now. Okay, let's get into it. Last Sunday, I had the honor of interviewing your daughter, Sister Zaina, the sister in the comments, Sister Khadija, and many others about their retreat and them seeing wills and things of that nature. How do you teach that to the 85? Like, how do you explain that? Like, or do you touch on that subject?
I remember when I first joined, man, I wasn't rocking with no UFOs and wheels. I wasn't rocking with that. Ain't no mystery God, brother. I was like, man, please. Let me leave that over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's wisdom. That's wisdom. You wait until you grow. And I remember I got the book, The Above Top Secret, the Worldwide UFO Coverage. And that helped me. Man, white boys see these things. So this is real. But I want to share a story. My daughter was 7, 8 months pregnant, and we went to see a show as a family. I forget, I think Neo was performing, 4th of July, something. And as the fireworks were going off, we see one of the wheels. And my daughter filmed it. And you hear me saying, uh-oh, we see the green light. Green means go. Green means go. And they wanted to stay to see the show. And you hear them saying, Dad, can we stop? I'm like, no. Green means go. Let's go. Because we took the training. And so as we walk in, we got to walk slow because my daughter's pregnant. All of the family we're walking away from the event. Maybe about 20 minutes as we're walking up, we see all of these cops and ambulance speeding back towards the event. Well, as we got home, we realized that there was a riot. There was a shooting and there was a riot and people got stampeded on. And we were saying all praises due to Allah. We had stayed. Now I got my daughter with me. But that helped my children to see, wow, this is real. So for the brothers on the streets, I don't even go that way, my brother. I don't even, they see it, they'll see it. It used to be a time where brothers in the hood didn't see the wheels. It used to just be white folks.
Yes, sir. Yes,
now
sir.
You got Pookie and Ray Ray like, yo, man, what's that up there? So the God is moving, but I don't touch the reality of the wheel with brothers in the hood unless I see where they are in their thinking. You got to build with people, and as you talk, you begin to realize who's studying, who's not studying, and then you can take it there.
Beautiful, excellent example. All praise is due to Allah. My sister Naima says, all praise is due to Allah with a testimony. Sister Khadija Kareem says, praise be to Allah as well. And people are showing you love all across the country, sir. My next question is, speaking of being a father and grandfather, how has being a grandfather impacted you?
It reminds, time waits for no one. And I like to consider myself 21, Josh, but I'm not 21 no more. And my granddaughter bears witness to that. You know, I was offended at first. She was calling me Pop Pop. I'm like, I ain't no Pop Pop. I'm not old enough to be no Pop Pop. But, you know, I thank Allah, Brother Josh, for my granddaughter. I thank Allah that right now I have 6 women in faith with me right now. I have my beautiful wife, 31 years. I have my mother in faith. I have my sister in faith, who's the captain of Muhammad's Mosque number 25 in Newark, New Jersey. I have my niece, Nafisa, in faith. My sister's daughter. I have my beloved daughter, Zaina, who you interviewed last week, in faith. And I got my granddaughter, Kiyama, and she rocking with the juniors. So, you know, they said back, you know, in the end, it was 6, with Jesus, it was 6 women and 1 John.
Yes, sir. That's the
I got 6, but my son is on his way, and my other children are on their way. And I just thank Allah for all of them. And I just, you know, it's a beautiful thing, Josh, to see them in faith. And all we can do is give our children the knowledge and sit back and get your popcorn and watch the movie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's how it is raising children. You know, you give them the knowledge and you sit back and get the popcorn and watch the movie, because there's some parts of the movie gonna make you cry. Some parts of the movie gonna make you walk out of the movie. Some parts of the movie gonna make you scream and yell at the movie. Some parts of the movie gonna make you cry. But as parents, we can't play that movie. This is their life. This is their life. So parents, don't sweat it when your children are going through things. Pour in them the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you have, and sit back and get the popcorn. But we don't need popcorn, so get the bean pie.
Excellent. Yes, sir. You teacher, man, you teacher. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Okay, well, speaking of being patient during the movie, my mother has 4 children, and many would say I would be the troubled child, or the child that the most rebellious and always speaking out and, you know, always talking blah, blah, blah. How are you, what advice do you give to parents about being patient with the child, their Joshua child, the child who may be the one who's more unorthodox, you know what I'm saying? You know, he got his own thing. What advice did you give to him?
Great question, Josh. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been patient with us, more than patient with us. I mean, his last believers meeting, just a loving father, patient with us. We have to grow. I know, I love to talk to other parents, those who have raised their children. I remember I was talking with Minister Akbar Muhammad, our international representative, and I was lamenting to him about, you know, a situation. And he said, Brother John, your children will always disappoint you. And I thought that was strange. In my mind, I'm like, what do you mean? So your children will always disappoint you. He said, because you will always want the best for them, and they're going to have to find their own way. So don't trip over it. I'm like, wow, that's deep, you know, because I want, you know, in my immaturity, I want my children to choose my path, do it my way. But then they wouldn't be God, you know. God's going to make his own way, you know, and that's being unique. And so, you know, my wife and I, we do single socials, we counsel married couples. And, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, brother, the male is not like the female. You know, for a long time, Josh, I was trying to make my wife think like me. No, she ain't me. Stop it. You know, so raising children, family, you know, as the minister said during the janazah for Sister Ava, you know, they're not ours. They, you know, they come through us. They don't belong to us. So just pour into them and be patient and train them up in the way they should go. And when they get older, they'll make their way.
Excellent advice. All praise due to Allah, and people will continue to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. Sister Khadija says she's listening because of one of her sons, the great Taj. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Okay, well, speaking on you and your wife, 31 years. Weddings have been in the air on social media, and people just post pictures and things of that nature. and I watch romantic comedies because I got sisters and everybody love, love, love. What advice would you give to single people who want to go 31 years but are hesitant about taking that leap, for 31 years with a person? Like, what advice would you give?
Understanding the purpose for marriage. What are we doing? What's the purpose? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has done so many great lectures and jewels on marriage. It doesn't seem like 31 years, Josh. I just pray Allah get another 31 to treat him better, man. It don't seem like 30. The time is just flew. But we have mentors. I love to bounce ideas off of men who can keep it 100 with me. And that's how Minister Kadir was, Student Minister Michael in Plainfield, Minister Lawrence, even Minister Benjamin at the time. You gotta have people that you trust to give you right information. This world that we're living in is on its way out. And for those of you that are single, Satan is always showing you the bad, always uplifting the bad. Well, there's bad in everything. Choose, being single is hard. Being married is hard. Having children is hard. Not being able to bear children is hard. Not having enough money is hard. Having a whole lot of money is hard. The key is choose your heart. Settle on the best part. Choose your heart. We're meant to be together. And I want to say to my single brothers, and really in the nation, we're taught that marriage is half of faith. So if you're a crack soldier, 100 final calls, make all your meetings. I think I said this to you before, John. You jam. The highest grade you can get is a 50. Because marriage is half of faith. But another brother can be weak in Islam, only have 5% wisdom in Islam, but be married. He's already beaten you. He's at 55%. Because marriage is half of faith, and he got 5% Islam. You jamming in Islam and you not married. Highest grade you're going to get is a 50. You reach 30 because a woman's going to bring out of you other parts of us that we don't even know is in us. So, if we're following the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and we're following in the steps of your father, Josh, and others, step up, soldiers. The sisters in the MGT, they're waiting for God. They're waiting for you. Go on and marry one of the MGT and get the big name.
See, but we was doing so well in the interview. We doing so good, and now you just everybody was like, "You heard what the man said. You heard what he was teaching." All the sisters everywhere will be like, "I've been saying that. Thank God I heard a brother say."
But you know what, Josh? But here's what we have to do, and I think I shared this with you before. We have to create the environment for our single brothers and sisters to meet. You can't tell a brother you need to get married in your city don't have no single social. Where's he gonna meet at? So then the front door post becomes a lust post. Walking a sister to the car, now it takes a turn. But we are responsible in our cities to create the environment, as Minister Ishmael and the minister said. We are supposed to create environments, social environments, for them to be able to come together in a righteous environment. But we sit in the mosque for 10 years with no single socials and then get mad when we step outside and get somebody else. That's not fair. It's not fair. So your dad, he down here rocking in the land. He's trying to marry her. All praise is due to Allah. So my wife and I, we take our cue, from him. We started, and by the grace of Allah, Student Minister Robert in Delaware and Wilmington has allowed us to hold single socials, and marriages have come from that. And I just thank Allah. Like a lot of brothers just shook, Brother John. They scared to talk to the MGT. They got that white on. Y'all angels, y'all breath don't stink. We got all these faults, and we scared to talk to you. But create the environment, and you'll find out that sister, she's struggling just like you, brother, just like you. And the two together, 31 years, man. I don't know where the time went, but I'm praying for another 31.
That's beautiful. All praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. So we have just a few more questions for you. And thanks to everyone who's showing love all across the country. Yes, sir. Now, usually I ask people about their favorite albums of all time, but because you are a fellow point guard like myself, I play point guard, and I think I'm the best point guard to ever play, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Could you let us know your favorite point guard of all time?
Favorite point guard of all time, I have to say Isaiah Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Isaiah was he was short, gritty. He I like those point guards that dish the rock, but they can drop 30 if they have to. And that's how Isaiah was. He gonna get 12 assists a night. He gonna be in your face. He gonna play D, but if you gotta drop 30, he gonna drop 30. I definitely love Isaiah Thomas.
Absolutely, Chicago's own for sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay, great. And sister, I always butcher her name. I want to say Shahadi. Every time I say it in the comments, yes, said, and they should be. And Elijah and Sister Khadijah say Elijah and Shahadi met there at your single social. All praises to Allah. Beautiful. Thank you, Sister Khadijah, for giving us the stats. Thank you very much. Okay, wonderful. Will you ever write a book on your personal life, sir?
I'm probably too young for that yet, Josh. I believe the best is yet to come. But I would like to write a book on our experiences. Brother Akbar did say to us, we should write books on our experiences. Absolutely. Like the experience of the Million Man March. You wrote a book. I don't know, so I may have to pick your ear, brother. It's not as hard as people think it is now.
Yes, sir. Yes,
it's kind of easy. So yes, sir, one day I would hope to write a book on some of the wonderful experiences of traveling with the wise man. Yes, sir. But as far as myself, I got another 50 years to bang on this beast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All praises to Allah. Beautiful. Okay. And well,
inshallah. Inshallah.
Yes, sir. 1 second. People are showing love in the comments as well. People saying they love you, and Sister Lakeisha always invoke their wisdom into the youth and show love to the youth. Excellent. Yes, sir. What advice would you give to young people, to the youth across the country and across the world, people who are watching people's podcasts, who aren't in your city, who can't be a part of your program, just about keep going and being positive moving forward?
Absolutely. One thing I would like all the youth to do is, if you have not yet, take an hour, 45 minutes out of your busy schedule on social media and watch a tape unadulterated of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Watch his tone, watch his smile, watch his words, watch his inflection and reflection, and just drink the minister in. The minister is the leader of the Joshua generation. And this generation is fearless, but misguided. And so all of you, just take a minute. Don't do the 30-second clip of the minister. That don't do him justice. We got the ADHD generation. Take an hour, 2 hours, and just sit and watch a full video, unadulterated, of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He is the one that Allah has asked us to look at in this dispensation of time. Drink him in, and then go to work in serving your people, because you will find your purpose. I meet a lot of brothers and sisters, Josh, they angry and they just frustrated, they're just not in their purpose. And this world can distract you from it. We don't know what our purpose is. So the minister said, get a piece of paper, write on one sheet of paper all the things you love to do. And on the other side, write down all the things that you see humanity needs. And if what you love to do is on the same thing as what humanity needs, go for it. Because you'll be fulfilling two things: your purpose, and you'll also have a passion for service for humanity.
Excellent teaching. And on that great note, I want to thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on, Brother Student Minister John. Thank everyone who's watching and who continues to watch the People's Podcast. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam to you and the podcast nation.